Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we live and garden here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today I am getting ready to think about my seed starting schedule for the season. I think I'm going to be doing some winter sowing, and I think I'm going to be doing some direct sowing later on in the season, and then also some indoor sowing under lights for putting out when it's time. So today I am sorting through my seeds. I thought I'd share with you what I purchased last fall, and also maybe talk a little bit more about some of the seeds that I found while I was sorting. What was I thinking? I don't know. Anyway, come with me and let's talk about seeds today. I have my seeds organized into these bins that I got at the Dollar Tree last spring. It fits pretty well unless you have a really wide seed packet like that, and then I have to fold it over or have it at a diagonal. But anyway, it pretty much fits wonderfully most seed packets. In the bins, I've organized them alphabetically, and I have these little just pieces of cardboard that I put the letter of the alphabet on to use as dividers. And I've alphabetized everything. Another thing that I have done is I've gone through, and on every seed packet I have, well, I didn't on that one, so let me do it. I've written the year that the packet was packaged for. So you may know that by law in the United States, seed companies are required to say when they package these seeds, and they generally put an expiration date on them of December 31st of the year that they're packaged. So that expiration date isn't really an expiration date. A lot of seeds will be viable after the end of the year that they were packaged, but by law in the US, they have to market it that way. So I put the year that the seeds were packaged on the front of every seed packet. That way I know at a glance when I bought them and whether or not I should expect full germination on them. And as I look through here, I'm finding lots of seed packets that I didn't label that way. So I'm going to take some time and go through and do that a little bit later today. If you've been with my channel for very long, you know that in 2021 is when I started the channel, and that season I started to do indoor seed starting. I didn't have this set up at that time. I had just tables over in a different part of the basement. And I started to learn how to plant seeds indoors, and I made a lot of mistakes. And then in 2022, I did more, and I made fewer, but still mistakes. Last year, 2023, I started a lot. I had a great schedule in my notebook here, 1 page per week, and I had listed out for myself all of the things that I needed to do each of those weeks. And I stuck to it pretty well until it got to be outdoor growing season. And then at that point, kind of as always, lost track of my garden journal. But using this 1 page per week in the early part of the season before we could really do much work outside was really helpful for managing, knowing when to plant what and where to do it, indoors or direct outside or whatever. But what happened last year was that I did all these indoor seed starts. I was also growing things for a plant sale in May of last year, and then I got home from the plant sale. I had leftovers, and then I had all these other seeds that I had started, and a lot of them just stayed on my driveway in their original seed starting containers, and they withered there and died, and I never did get them planted. So I overseeded last year. I think that's a fairly common habit amongst us eager gardeners who want to really, we want to try all the things, we want to learn all the things, and so we get into something, and then time gets the better of us sometimes, and things don't work out the way we had envisioned. So this season, I'm trying to be a little bit smarter and a little bit more realistic about how much time I have, how much light I have. My sunlight, my direct sun areas for gardening are quite limited, and I tend to try to stretch my part sun areas into a full sun planting area, and it just doesn't work for some of the plants that I've tried. So as I was looking through my seeds and the ones that I bought last fall, I was kicking myself a little bit because I don't know where I'm going to plant those plants knowing how little full sun I actually have in the garden. Oh well. So like I said, this season I'm going to try to be a little bit more realistic. I'm going to start fewer seedlings. I'm going to do some of them as winter sowing projects instead of indoor sowing projects, because winter sowing is a lot less time commitment on the part of the gardener. And I'm going to try to be a little bit more realistic about where I can put what kinds of plants. So with all of that said, let's take a look at these seeds that I bought. I ordered these in September of last year, and they arrived in the fall. And these are the seeds that I was thinking, I'll do that in my vegetable garden next year. Some of them are flowers, but most of them are vegetables. So let's take a look at what I ordered. It's nice because Botanical Interest sends out a seed starting guide. So if you're not sure of how to grow things from seed, this information will really help you learn what you need to learn. Another nice thing that a lot of the seed companies do, not everyone, but a lot of them, they sent me a free packet of seeds. This is a packet of mesclun lettuce. So it's a salad greens mix. And so thank you. I'll probably be using these. I love using mesclun lettuce in the garden because we do eat a lot of it. So that's a really nice addition to any garden anywhere. Okay, so I have been influenced a lot by some of the garden channels that I watch online on YouTube. For instance, Garden Answer. I mean, a lot of us watch Garden Answer, and a lot of what Laura puts in her garden, especially her cut flower garden or her vegetable growing, I take note of what she does, what her successes and failures are, what her methods are. And some of the things that she does I pick up on, and some of them I don't. Another channel that I watch a lot pretty regularly is Roots and Refuge. That's Jess Soward, I believe. So Jess's channel, Roots and Refuge, is all about homesteading. They have a homestead farm in South Carolina, I believe, and I watch for her gardening content. And so some of the things that I purchased here were influenced by either Garden Answer or by Jess at Roots and Refuge. The first of those being these peppers. These are Biko Peppers. They're a red and yellow blend. They're a little cherry size, but they have an interesting shape. They kind of are upside down teardrop shapes where the bottom comes to a point. And they're a little bit of heat in them, but mostly they're a sweet snacking pepper, and they have just a bit of an aftertaste of pepper heat. So I'm hoping that we'll try these and enjoy these. Jess at Roots and Refuge pointed me toward these, so we're gonna give those a shot. And then also Jess convinced me to try to grow some shishito peppers. This is another snacking pepper, and the way she uses hers is she flash fries them in a pan with a little bit of hot oil and salt and pepper, and then she uses some sort of aioli dip on them, and she uses them as an appetizer or a snack. So I got 2 packages actually, which now that I look at it, I didn't need to buy that many packages because it would give me 40 plants if I grew all of these. No one needs 40 plants of shishito peppers. So anyway, now I have 2 packages of shishito peppers, and I'm going to see if I can enjoy these the way Roots and Refuge does. These are also, according to the package, known as Wrinkled Old Man. It's a Japanese style. It's mild and sweet with an occasional kick. So that's my peppers that I bought based on my influences that I got from other people. Okay, and then some of these other things. Cup and saucer vine. This is blue cathedral bells. I grew this successfully last year. I'm going to try it again with a little bit more of a bang for my buck. I only got about 2 vines going last year, and they did flower, but I'd like to have more vines going, and I'd like to have more flowers on them. They take all season to get up and big enough to flower, but when they do flower, they're very pretty. It's like a daylily, from what I could tell, in that the flower opens and is beautiful that day, and then the next day that flower is gone, and hopefully another one has come in its place. So these are blue cathedral bells, cup and saucer vine. I bought more sweet peas. I have plenty of sweet peas in my seed stash. I shouldn't have really paid for more, but this one is a perennial blend. Did you know that sweet peas can be perennials? There are some that are. And the only reason I know that is because actually when we moved into this house out in our backyard, right by the back porch that we don't use because it doesn't have any stairs, there is a perennial sweet pea. And the first year we were here, I thought it was just an annual. I pulled it out by the roots, and it came back the next year, and it comes back every single year. And so I'm hoping that I'll be able to plant this perennial blend of sweet peas. It looks like they're a pink and purple and white pastel color flowers, and I'm hoping I'll be able to have perennial sweet peas. Wouldn't that be nice? Put them on a fence or on an arbor or something like that. So yeah, I'm excited to try that. Some other produce that I got for the veg garden. This one is a cherry yellow bush patio tomato. This is Patio Choice Yellow, and it's only supposed to grow the plant to 18 inches tall. It's supposed to be great for small spaces or containers, but it's highly productive. So you'll get plenty, as it says, you'll get plenty of cheery yellow fruits with a sweet flavor. Now, my favorite cherry tomato is the Sun Gold, and I do have some Sun Gold seeds, and I will be starting some of those. But I thought I would try this Patio Choice Yellow and see if it works. Small, miniature plant, regular size cherry tomatoes. Give that a shot. I got another lettuce. This is a mini romaine little gem. These are small heads of romaine lettuce, and they're frost tolerant, so I'm going to be starting them here pretty soon. And you can sow them in early spring through the fall. Mini romaine combines the wonderful flavor of a butterhead with the crisp texture of romaine for one gem of a green. So I'm going to give that a shot. Last year we really enjoyed having lettuces growing in the garden, so I'm going to do a lot of those. I also enjoyed last year growing shelling peas and growing sugar snap peas. So I still have lots of seeds from last year that I'll be able to still use. I'm hoping they germinate as well, or almost as well as they did last year. So I bought this one because the website said that it's an heirloom, and it's a little bit more prolific than the one I had last year, which was... So last year I grew Strike, which were shelling peas. This is Progress, number 9, shelling peas. And so maybe I'll do them both and see which one I like the taste of better. The advertisements for Progress said that it's a better one because it's more prolific, more number of pods on the plant, and each pod holds more peas. So we're going to give it a shot, compare it to Strike, and hopefully both will be good. Cucumbers are one of the crops that I love to grow. They're very easy. And I learned last year that if you have seedlings coming along every 2 or 3 weeks throughout the season, then when your first cucumber plant withers away and dies off by, mid to late June, you can still have cucumbers throughout the rest of the summer if you've got seedlings that you can replace the old vine with. So I succession sowed cucumbers last year to great success. So I'm going to be doing that again this year. I got 2 different ones. The first one is called Poinsett 76, and the second one is called Hocus. And the Hocus is a gherkin style, so that you harvest these when they're little. They're great for pickling, although I'm not sure I'm going to be pickling any of them. I just like the idea of having small snack peppers. And then the Poinsett is more of a slicing cucumber, and it tolerates hot and humid areas, which is what we have. And it says that it has excellent disease resistance. Last year I had trouble with funguses on my cucumber plants, so I'm hoping that this new Poinsett 76 variety is one that will withstand our heat and maybe not get so much mildew or mold on them. I bought a bunch of jade bush beans. Jade variety is one that the Master Gardener's demonstration garden at the state fairgrounds used, and they were wonderful in that garden. And so I got some for myself, and I'm hoping to keep the rabbits and the deer and the slugs and the snails off of my bean plants this year. Last year I planted beans 4 or 5 times, and every time some critter or another ate the plants down to nubs. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to prevent that from happening, because these jade bush beans are really, really yummy variety. Now, here's another plant that I got because of inspiration from some of the things that I watch online. First is this blue grama grass, and this is a perennial, grows in full sun, and it has these little seed heads up at the top that look really interesting when they wave in the wind. This is something that I picked up on from Garden Answer, and so I'm hoping to grow some of these, perennial. And then I got another type of grass that is an annual, and it's called frosted explosion grass. Now, it's a panicum, but it is not perennial in my area. It will grow 16 to 32 inches tall, and it'll have this explosion of fuzzy tentacles, seed heads up at the top. So I'm going to grow this. Now, I'm hoping that it doesn't spread too wildly. If it becomes invasive, then that will have been a mistake. But we do mulch our beds pretty well, and usually self-seeding in the mulched beds is a little less vigorous than if I used compost for mulch, for example. So 2 types of ornamental grasses, one of them perennial and one of them annual. And then the final thing that I ordered for this year is Forget-Me-Not, the Victoria Pink kind, and I've planted these before, and they're just so pretty. So I'm just going to sprinkle these around outside, and they'll grow or they won't, and we'll see. I might winter sow some, but probably I'll just sprinkle them onto some soil and hope they take. So that's the summary of the seeds that I bought last fall, but I wanted to share with you some of the things I found while I was sorting through my seeds. What was I thinking? I don't know, but the first one that I found this, what am I doing? Corn. Sweetness F1 hybrid bicolor synergistic corn. Where in the world in my gardens do I think I'm going to be able to plant corn to have it grow, get enough sun to be pollinated and set corn for eating? I don't know what I was thinking. We may not find a place to plant some corn. We'll see. Beans. Pole beans. How many kinds of pole beans do you think one garden can support? A garden the size of mine, that is. So I have 3 old types of bush beans, but let's talk about the pole beans. I have Blauhilde pole beans, purple pods, stay tender even when they get big, full flavor. I have dragon tongue beans. I have more dragon tongue beans because who doesn't have enough? I got Kentucky Wonder pole beans. I got red noodle beans, which I grew last year and loved. I have Painted Lady pole beans. These are more ornamental. Actually, do I have any? No, I'm out. I don't have any more of those. And then in addition to those, which are edible, I also have hyacinth bean seeds. So where do I think I'm going to be growing all of these beans? I have no idea. Here we are. I have no fewer than 7 types of basil. Carrots. I have carrots out the wazoo. I've never yet grown a successful carrot, but that doesn't stop me from thinking I'll be able to this year. Yeah, I've got columbine seeds that I've collected every year that I've grown columbine. Have I ever planted them? Not really. Let's see. Let's count the cucumbers I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 types of cucumber. What am I doing? I don't know. Dusty Miller, 3 kinds. Forget-Me-Not, 4 kinds. Foxglove, collected seed from 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and new seeds that I bought last year. Ooh, this is crazy. Okay, so please tell me that your seed collection is at least similar to mine in that you have way too many things and they're old and maybe they're not very good anymore, but you're going to try them anyway. And maybe you have seeds for plants that you just, what were you thinking? Where are you going to put that? I don't know. But I tell you what, gardening is the best thing in the world for a person to live in the aura of hope, right? When we plant a garden, we're hoping for the future. We have optimism that the world is going to be okay long enough for us to harvest our vegetable or to cut our flower or to enjoy the shade of a tree. So if being an optimist, being a hopeful person if this is evidence of that, then I'll take it, right? Well, thanks for joining me today and chatting about my seeds. What do you have? What are you working on? Are you going to be doing indoor seed starting? Are you going to do any direct sow, any winter sowing? Let me know what your plans are, and put them down in the comment section down below. Let's chat about what we're going to be doing coming up. Thanks so much for joining today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.